Hey guys, it's Ashley with Pugs and Pearls, and today I'm so excited. We're going to be doing another Get Ready With Me on my channel, and I've got a bunch of new products to try out. As you guys know, I've been doing some hauls lately, so if you haven't checked them out, I will post one here and one here. I've got the Ulta haul that I recently did, and then I also have the Sephora haul that I recently did, and I've gotten a couple of new products. Some are drugstore, some are high-end, and today we are going to be focusing on some of the drugstore products, specifically Physicians Formula. So we're going to be testing out a few products today. I have the Physicians Formula Butter Believe It Foundation and Concealer. You guys know I'm a big fan of their butter bronzer, and they've really come out with a whole butter line. So I'm really excited. It says it's for all skin types. We're going to test that out today. I also have their Butter Blowout Mascara from Physicians Formula, so I'm excited to give this a shot. It's supposed to give you really full volume and lengthened lashes. Haven't tried any new mascaras in a while. And then I am also going to be testing out the Butter Believe It Putty Primer. These have been really popular. I know e.l.f. has a putty primer. I have not tried that one yet, but I am excited to test this out today. And then I do have some just butter products that I've had over the years. Some of them I don't remember much of, and then some I love. For instance, the butter bronzer. This is a favorite. We're going to be using this today. I do have a blush from butter bronzer. I will be honest, this is not my favorite, and it's more so the shade, not necessarily the formula, because the formula is very much like the butter bronzer. And then I also have a highlighter from Physicians Formula to use. So again, in that butter line. So we're going to go ahead and use those today. And then also one thing for eyeshadow that I'm going to be testing out, I am going to be using this little tiny e.l.f. Quad, and this is such a cute bite size. It's their cream and sugar, and I've actually used this already. Spoiler alert, I love it. These are super affordable. I want to say these are like $4. Very easy makeup if you're on a budget, and very easy to actually put on your eyes and be done with your look. So we're going to be doing this one today. I also have another one that will be coming up in a future video, but without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. Alright guys, so to start off with, we're going to take my 3-in-1 Coconut Wet n Wild Primer. I absolutely love this thing. This has such a nice light scent. And just put some moisture into my face before we put on any of the products. Also, I forgot, I am going to be putting on these little Sephora clips. These are really nice and handy for getting your hair out of your face when you do makeup application. They're really small, but they work really, really well. So I love just to kind of pull my hair back to make it easy for application. Alrighty guys, so let's go in with this Mura Mura Butter Putty Primer. I'm so excited to try this. I have been wanting to try putty primers for quite some time, for a while. This is what the packaging looks like, just absolutely gorgeous. I love the palm trees. Again, I live in Florida, so this is just kind of like a really cute product to have on my vanity. And it's the Butter Believe It Putty Primer. So this is what it looks like when you take the cap off, just kind of like a light kind of tan color. And let's go ahead and dip in. Oh wow, really kind of creamy, very, very soft. And almost, it's not like I can dig a lot out, it's just kind of like very liquidy. So that's interesting. I'm gonna go ahead and dig in here and just kind of massage that on my face. It kind of, a little surprising, I thought it was gonna be thicker, like actual, like, you know, like a little hunk that you would actually put on your face, but it looks like it's kind of like more of a liquid. That's definitely really different. I'm a little concerned as I'm putting it on because I'm like, ugh, it kind of feels like I'm greasing up my face, but maybe not. Let's just see how it goes once I apply it. But it's definitely different than what I expected. I thought it would be more of like a cream that we could blend in, but it's really more of like a liquid that's coming out. It's like my hands are warming it up, and then I am just kind of, again, pasting it all over my face. Definitely different. Haven't had a primer like this in quite some time. So some claims of this primer: it's supposed to deliver a radiant, soft, poreless complexion, incredibly creamy and soft texture, preps the skin, and allows makeup to glide on for a smooth all-day wear. And it does have that Mura Mura butter in it, that Kupaku butter, Tukuma butter. It's very nutrient rich from the Amazon apparently. It's supposed to leave your skin soft and conditioned and moisturized, leaving it soft and silky. And you know what? It does feel like slightly greasy, but it also feels like slightly soft and silky. So we'll have to see what comes next with our foundation. So I got this one in the shade Fair to Light, and it's the Butter Believe It Foundation Plus Concealer. So I guess you can, this is supposed to be pretty full coverage, I guess. It's super cute packaging. It is glass, and it has a nice little pump here. So let's go ahead and pump some out and see if this is gonna be my right shade. Okay, that came out really nice. Alrighty guys, so you can see it there, it's kind of nice and creamy, a little bit liquidy, a little bit thick, but it's moving around. What I like to do when I do apply new foundation is I like to try it two different ways. The first way, we're gonna do a beauty blender to see how it goes on one side, and then we will do a brush on the other. So let's go ahead and paste a little bit of this on with our fingers, and then we will go in with the beauty blender. Alrighty, so as it's going on, I was wondering if this would be the right shade for me because I did pick this up online, and at first glance it does look like it's slightly darker than my skin tone, but it is blending in nicely, so I think it's going to work. It's just slightly yellow for my skin tone, but not enough where I think it's going to be a problem. Like, I think it's going to be okay. There wasn't a ton of color range, honestly, when I bought this, I don't think, so you're kind of limited with what options you have for color, so that can be a downside if it's hard for you to match your foundation. And as I am buffing this in, it's buffing in quite nicely with the beauty blender. Again, I'm just kind of pouncing it on my skin. I did put water in this and squeezed it out before I started to do the bouncing, but it definitely is like, it's covering a little bit, I would say, not completely. You can still see some of my freckles through, but it is doing some coverage. So I would say a medium on that first layer, and that's with the beauty blender. All right guys, let's go on the other side with my F80 Kabuki brush from Sigma. Now sometimes when you use a beauty blender, it can shear out the foundation because it's a sponge, so it is absorbing some of that product. With a brush, sometimes you get a little bit more coverage, but sometimes the finish isn't as nice. So that's why I always like to test one side with a brush and one side with a beauty blender to see the difference, or if there is a difference on makeup application when it comes to foundation. Alrighty guys, now I don't know if you can tell with the lights on, but I do think this side of my face, the application looks more smooth with the beauty blender because it's nicely patted in. With the brush, I feel like I still can see the foundation sitting on top of my face. I can see more of the strokes on it. So what I'm gonna do is do one more layer, and I'm gonna beauty blend the entire thing, and then we're gonna see what it looks like. Alrighty guys, so this is it on with a second layer with the beauty blender. Now I do feel like we built up the coverage a bit, so it does look way more full coverage. I will say though, I feel like I'm seeing a lot of texture in my skin, and I typically don't see that. Now that could be because of the primer, because I do feel like the primer wasn't really thick enough to really get a smooth canvas started, but that's just my initial thoughts. We haven't applied the powder yet, so let's go ahead and apply that next. For powder, I'm going to be taking my Too Faced Primed and Poreless. This is a skin smoothing pressed powder, and again, you can see this is well loved. I just use the little compact puff that comes in it, just kind of dip in, swirl that, and then I just press into the skin. And this does a really good job of setting a lot of my foundations. Right now it's been my go-to pressed powder. Again, it's translucent, so it's not adding necessarily any more coverage or color, but it really does smooth a lot of things out. So sometimes even if you don't have a good foundation, if you have a good powder, sometimes that can actually really help. All right guys, now I don't know if you can tell in the camera, but this powder really smoothed everything out. And this side is still very textured. So I just wanted you to see the difference. Again, I'm not sure if you can see with the harsh lights, but I definitely can notice the difference in person. Alrighty guys, powder is complete. I have to say, it looks a lot better. That powder really improved the look of that foundation. Now before we get too far ahead, I want to go ahead and prime my eyes with my MAC Paint Pot. This is in the shade Painterly. This is just a great base for your eyes. You just get a little bit on your thumb there, and I just blend it in. And what it does for me is it actually covers any redness or any discoloration that your eye may have, and it gives you a great base for your eyeshadow to go on. I promise promise your eyeshadow will last so much longer when you use a base. And I've been using this base for literally years and years. Every time I switch to something else, I end up always coming back to my MAC paint pot. And this works well because I have a pink undertone, but if you have a different skin undertone, they do have a bunch of different shades that might match you. Alrighty guys, let's go ahead and go in with the Butter Blush. This is in the shade Rose Pink, and this is a Mura Mura Butter Blush. Now, whatever that butter is, I do think it makes it extremely smooth when it goes on. It just has a really, really nice soft texture. Now, the one thing I have used this is a blush that's been in my collection for quite some time. The one thing I don't like about it is that I just feel like the shade is too light. I love the formula, but I just feel like I have to really pack this on my skin for it to kind of show up. And again, I don't know if it's just the foundation, but sometimes I feel like it's a little patchy too. But I do like this butter bronzer butter formula. I do think it makes for a very nice, like, smooth type of product. So I just need to get, I think, a little bit of a darker shade because I just don't particularly like this blush shade. So here you guys go, up close. This is what the blush looks like. Again, I do feel like with this foundation, it might be a little patchy, but it is very, very nice formula. And again, I've had this one a while. It's just not my favorite shade. Next up, guys, let's talk about this butter bronzer. This is one of my favorite bronzers of all times. This is the light bronze. It does come in a slightly darker shade, so you can get it a little bit darker if you need to. You can see I've made quite an indentation here, and again, this is just a really nice, light, smooth formula. I've used this over the years and I am extremely happy with it. The light bronzer you can really build up. It does show up, but you really can't overdo it. So if you have really pale skin, I definitely recommend getting the light bronzer and even the regular bronzer. I have the regular version in a miniature formula. You guys, if you've watched my channel, you've seen it on here many times. It's just so nice. I can't recommend it enough. It's just one of my favorites. Again, whether it's the light or the regular, even if you're pale, you can really do with both. But if you're extremely pale, you may want to start with the light and then just build it up as you go. And not to mention, guys, can we just talk about how cute the packaging is on these? I just love the tropical feel. I love how the blush is a little bit smaller than the bronzer. It's just super cute. Alright guys, now I bought this highlighter from Physicians Formula a ways back. This is the Champagne Mura Mura Butter Highlighter. I can't remember if I liked it or not. I really just don't remember. But again, if it has that Mura Mura butter in it, I probably do like the formula. Let me just test it on my finger. Super, super smooth. It feels very, very creamy. I'm going to go ahead and dip in with my little brush here. Tap off and let's just see. Oh wow, that is a strong gold highlight. And now I remember, it's just, it works, but it is so super like gold for me. It's just too much of a gold shade, but we're gonna go ahead and build it up so you guys can really see it. Again, like, I don't know if I love the foundation because I do feel like my pores like are kind of like being highlighted. I think this more so has to do with the primer though. I need a really thick silicone primer to smooth out my face. I thought the Putty one would be that for me, but I'm really starting to think that I need to go back to my my Benefit Professional primer because that seems to work best in a lot of these situations. But it's very chunky gold. I do feel like the glitter is very blingy. I wish it was a little bit more finely milled just from like an everyday wear because I feel like you'd have to be going out at night for this to really be appropriate. But again, to each their own, that's just my personal opinion. And again, I think it's a little bit patchy in a way because I think of that foundation. Alrighty guys, are we ready to dive into this e.l.f. mini little bite quad here? This is again the cream and sugar quad. I have used this before, spoiler alert. I do think it's really, really nice, easy to use. So let's go ahead and we're going to start off with this shade here. This is kind of like a little bronzy shade here. These are very shimmery shades, and then you have a matte dark brown and a matte kind of like cream here. So again, I'm just going to pounce in here a little bit, knock off, and then we are going to go into the crease and just start to build that in and go down a little bit. We're going to do kind of like a dark to light from the corner to the inner corner. Alright, now once I've built that up to the consistency that I want, We are then going to go in with the darkest shade here on this end. And this is just a very matte brown. Again, I'm going to tap off any excess. And I'm just going to go into the corner and blend. And I am going to go in a little bit more and just kind of, again, build it up to your consistency. These aren't like so pigmented that like at first dip you're going to overdo it. You definitely can dig in and slowly build it up, but you can see definitely that color is coming through. We're getting a nice dark chocolate brown in that outer corner. Alrighty guys, once we've got that one done, we are gonna go in with this kind of like nice shimmer shade. I'm just gonna stick my finger in here, and again, these are really nice and creamy, very pigmented. And I'm just gonna go on the tops of my eye and brush that on with my finger to give us that nice little champagne pop on the lid. Next up guys, we're gonna take this cream shade here, again, nice, very matte shade. Gonna dust that on the tops of my brow bone just to finish off the look. And that's really it. I mean, this is a simple quad to use. I think this could be done in everyday makeup. I went a little bit heavy on these, but if you went light, you could do a nice like everyday look. And I think it looks really nice for $4. For eyeliner, we are going to be taking the Sex Kitten liner from Tarte. I love this liner. I've been really using it heavily the last few months. It just makes a really nice dark line. It glides on super smooth. And I'm really needing, I think I just repurchased this. I'm waiting for a Tarte order to come in, so stay tuned for a little Tarte unboxing. I got some new makeup to try from Tarte that they've come out with that I'm really excited about. Alrighty guys, are we ready for this Physicians Formula? This is again the Butter Blowout Mascara. We're gonna go ahead and get this out and try it for the first time. So here it is out of the packaging. Again, let's take a look at the wand and see what she looks like. Sometimes mascaras are really hard to do first impressions on because you don't know how they're going to wear throughout the day or if they're gonna flake off. As you can see, this is kind of like a bristle wand. It kind of is very thick in the middle and to the end, and then kind of narrows right at the very edge. So I haven't used a bristle wand in a, well, I don't think, no, my Too Faced one is a bristle. I love the Too Faced better than Sex one, so let's go ahead guys and see how this one goes. Alrighty, like it's definitely lengthening like right away guys. Really nice length there. I would say a medium on the thickness. I think it's more lengthening. Really nice though. Let's see if we can build it up a little. Alrighty guys, so I tried to zoom you in as much as I could so you can see these lashes. So my first initial thoughts are extremely great on the lengthening. It did not clump the lashes. They look really nice. It is not as thickening, I would say, as the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, which is one of my favorites, but I like it. I feel like it's nice so far. Again, I don't know how this is gonna wear throughout the day. I don't know if it's gonna flake off or anything like that, but initial thoughts, I like it for the lengthening purpose. So far, so good. Now guys, we're gonna finish off my eyebrows here. This is the Goof Proof Brow Pencil. This is in the shade 3. I absolutely love this thing. You guys see me use this all the time. And I pretty much just brush it through my brows just to fill in any like sparse spots. It's not too harsh, but it does a really good job and it does it really quickly. Benefit has some great brow products. If you're looking for any kind of product, they probably have it for brows. I feel like that's what they really specialize in. Alrighty guys, next up we're going to take the Gimme More Brow from Benefit. This is a great product that not only thickens your brows, fills in holes, has some fibers, and also has some tint. It's like a nice little 3-in-1. It's got a really tiny wand that you can just, again, easily brush through your lashes. Super quick, super effective, and does make a really big difference. Alrighty guys, for lipstick to finish off this look, we are going to be taking Walk of Shame from the Charlotte Tilbury collection. This is one of her little mini lipsticks. I got this in a trio. I absolutely love her lipsticks. I think they're very high quality. They wear really well. So let's go ahead and apply. And there it is once it's applied. Really pretty kind of like a very light or nice berry shade, very everyday wear. Alrighty guys, so here is the finished look. Overall, I love the color and the, color choices. That highlighter is absolutely banging. But when it comes down to some of the reviews, let's talk first about the Physicians Formula foundation. I will say it looks great on camera when you've got lights shining at you, but I can really see the texture of my skin up close. And that could be not necessarily the foundation's fault, it could be this primer. I don't think this is the type of primer for me. I just see all of my pores. It did not pore fill. So for me, this is a no-go on the primer. Again, if you don't need pore filling priming, then you may like it, but again, it claims it's pore filling, it is not. So that means I really need to test this foundation out again with my Benefit Professional Primer to see if it actually looks good. The color is okay, but I definitely see it sinking into all of my lines. And again, that could just be the primer issue. So not sure about that foundation. The jury is still out. Love the Physicians Formula Butter Mascara. I definitely think this is a nice lengthening one. I would not say it's volumizing, it's very lengthening. The highlighter, again, I just think this is too chunky. It has too much glitter in it for me, and the color is off. This is too gold for my skin tone, but I would be I'd be open to try maybe like a different color and something not so glittery. Same thing again for the blush. Like, I do like the consistency of these blushes. I just don't like the shade. I feel like I need one that's like a little bit more warm tone or a little bit darker. And let's see what else. The butter bronzer is the best thing about this. As you guys know, I'm just a big fan of the butter bronzer. I think it's light, but it looks so natural and you can build it up. It's great for people, especially who are light skin toned, to have that. So out of everything, you definitely need the butter bronzer. That is just a classic, and I would recommend the mascara, at least on initial thoughts. Again, that could change later on. Of course, the e.l.f. quad that we used, love it. I think it came out with a really basic, nice, but easy makeup look. You can't go wrong for $4. The quality of these are super, super good. I think that's it for as far as like the new makeup I tried today, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this get ready with me video. I try to be very honest about the products. Not all of them are going to work out. And again, I just, like, it looks great on camera, but I see everything through that foundation. I am going to test it out again and see if my primer does work. We'll try that. But again, right now I'm just like, not so great. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, if you want to subscribe and watch more videos, click the button below and I will catch you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Bye guys.